If you want to change your life, if you genuinely want to make a real change in your identity, you have to first realize that most of the decisions you make aren't actually yours. Now, let me explain. Most people live life from a reactive state. They react to their environment, they react to their feelings, they make decisions based off of emotions that they don't even fully recognize or understand. You know, maybe someday you're walking down the street and someone gives you a dirty look. You didn't like that, but you keep going about your day. And then at a certain point, you criticize someone or you make a decision from a place of insecurity and you don't even really know why. And once we start to recognize these patterns and realize that a lot of what happens to us affects the decisions we make, and oftentimes those decisions aren't necessarily aligned with the life we want to live, the version of ourselves that we want to be, we can start taking intentional action to rewire our identity, our thoughts, our behaviors, make it one that's more aligned with the life that we want to live. For example, this morning I woke up feeling like shit. I woke up, I was tired, I didn't want to get out of bed, I didn't want to do anything, I just wanted to scroll on my phone. And what I've realized over and over and over again is that anytime I feel like this, anytime I'm in a rut, I have to lean into the things that I don't necessarily want to do, but I know are aligned with the version of me that I want to be. So I did a little meditation, I wrote in my journal, and then I went to the gym. Had honestly a mediocre workout, and when I came back, I put my phone away and spent an hour in silence with just my notebook. And after 30 minutes of me just being alone and having space to think and hear my thoughts, felt so much better. And that's the thing that you need to realize, is that anytime you're in these ruts, oftentimes you need to actually lean into the things that you don't want to do, because when you're in these moments of weakness, you crave comfort, right? You crave junk food and scrolling and reaching out to your ex and fucking searching for validation, whatever. You're not coming from a place of the identity that you actually want. So the clearer you can get on who you want to be, the type of life you want to live, the better you can make decisions from a place of that awareness. It all starts with being aware of who you are, who you want to be, and where you're making your decisions from. And two things happen when you lean into the discomfort when you're not feeling good. One, usually when you do the things that you don't want to do because you don't feel good, you end up feeling better. And two, you're creating a new baseline of habits, of healthy habits that will springboard you in the future when you're feeling better, because now you have this energy and now you're feeling good, and now you have this baseline level of healthy habits as your foundation. You know, you can only go up from there. So it reinforces the healthy behaviors and healthy identity that you want in your life. So how do you do all this? How do you develop this awareness? I'll give you an exercise. This is one I do with all my clients when we first start working together. I call it the identity exercise. In your journal, get out a piece of paper. On one side of the paper, write out current Jalen. Who am I? What are my stats? How old am I? What do I do for a living? How much money do I have? What type of shape am I in? What type of relationships are in my life? And then write out your habits. What does a day-to-day basis look like for you? What do you do every single day? What are your good habits? What are your bad habits? And then on a separate piece of paper, write out new Jalen. Maybe think about yourself a year down the line, 2 years down the line, whatever. How do they speak? How do they act? How do they present themselves? What type of relationships do they have? And then write out their habits on a day-to-day basis. What are all of their habits? Once you have this on paper, you can clearly see where the discrepancies are and what you need to audit in your current habits to start living in more alignment with the version of you that you want to be, right? So look at your current habits, look at your future habits, see what habits are not aligned, and then slowly start working on replacing those habits with the newer habits of the version of you that you want to be. And it's hard, it's really hard, but as you continue to do it and as you get those reps in, it just gets easier and easier and easier. And then one day you look back and you realize that all of the things that felt so hard for you to do at first have just become part of your normal life. Like for me, I know that no matter what, no matter how good or bad I feel, I'm still gonna get my exercise in. I'm still gonna post 2 to 3 times on Instagram. I'm still gonna journal. I'm still going to work on my business every single day. I have that baseline level of habits that is there for me as a safety net, even on my worst days. And that's how you make real progress. So if you're serious about changing your life, you have to get brutally honest about who you are and the limiting habits that are keeping you stuck. Because without that awareness, you'll never actually be able to make real change in your life. And I know it's a tough journey, like it's really hard. This morning, I genuinely didn't want to do shit. Oftentimes I don't want to do shit, you know, but the more you can actively train yourself and rewire your brain to do the things anyways, the more reinforced that new identity becomes. And the quicker you're able to go through the seasons of life. I used to be stuck in ruts for days, weeks, months. I would feel like shit. But the quicker you can realize that seeking comfort in these times of not feeling good is not gonna change anything. It's gonna make it worse. And the quicker you realize that, the quicker you make intentional action to change those things and to lean into the things that you know you should be doing, even though they're uncomfortable, the quicker you're able to move through the cycles. Now I'm stuck in ruts for hours and then I bounce back like that. Maybe one day I'm not feeling good, but I'm still getting my shit done because of my habits. So It's like, this is the type of framework, this is the mentality that you need to actually make that identity shift and to transform yourself into the person that you want to become. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Love you guys. I'm gonna start posting on YouTube more, so be ready for that. I know I have like, I don't know, 50 subscribers right now, but I'm excited. So keep going on your journey. I know it can be rough, I know it can be lonely, but I'm here if you want to check out my Instagram or reach out to me on DMs. I'm always answering, I'm always giving advice and helpful tips. Love you guys. Keep at it.